We're at the end of turn 2. Not much has happened. The Germans are trying to make a push somewhere, thinking about trying to wipe these guys out just to get their rear protected. They kind of broke out a little bit here. My French is terrible, so I'm not going to attempt that. I go to a French-Swiss restaurant here that serves a dish called that, and I can never quite pronounce it. Germans were disrupted trying to attack the town. Wasn't successful in the least. And again, nothing much has happened up here. And we will continue to turn 3. The Germans now get 4 actions. The Allies still get 2. And that's a night turn, which favors the Germans. So I'll get these populated back in per this chart here, and we'll continue. So right back, first activation of turn 3. With combat being the way it is, each of these is going to get to attack. And as they attack, they can use the other ones. I don't believe it depletes. I don't think helping in combat activates the unit, but let me check that. So they're all good. I should probably figure out which the most effective order to do this in. However, I don't really like overthinking things like that. So let's look at modifiers first. Well, this guy, if he's included in the attack, he's attacking across a bridge, so maybe we don't want that. He is out of supply, though. The disrupted markers go away at the end of the turn, so there is zone of control, so he's back out, or he is out of supply. The combat modifiers, they're going to all get to attack with a heavy attack, which is a +1. And then a +1 for it being night right now, so they're at +2. And then I guess out of supply only matters if you're attacking. Okay, so they're at +2, -2 for them being in a town is back to 0. So we'll do this one. That's 12 against 7. Well, 12 against 7. Or 17 against 7. I'd get them at 2-1. Put -2 on the die roll. 3-2. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. So this guy's gonna go to 17. So 2-1. -2 on the die. 9. So they're at 7. They lose a step. It's a 1-step unit, so it's dead. So that was beneficial. This was the original attacker, so he's depleted. Any of these guys now can advance after combat, which we like. So that guy's going to advance, and then he can still take his turn if he were so inclined. This guy is actually going to advance also. They all get that opportunity. He'll stay there. This guy's going to move out of there. Just good news. So these guys will continue moving, and we'll continue with the turn. Here we are partly through turn 3. The allied player just activated the second armor. These guys were up here, brought some reinforcements on the map. These guys thought about making a push over here and trying to knock these guys out, but with them behind, kind of a risky move. These guys are in somewhat precarious position, getting cut off from supply, but the idea is the allied player wants, what I'm thinking this allied player wants, not in general, is getting these Germans backed up to the river and then pound against them there. The Germans get to go. Extra move. And Panzerlehr activates again. And so this is Christmas. The Brits get to come into play now. They are in the cup. Germans won initiative. They only have 3 actions now, though, and the Allies have 5. I feel like the Germans didn't make a big enough push. Things are kind of swinging against them now. We'll see how it shakes out. We're further into Christmas. Brutal turn for the Germans. This Allied air gives the Germans 1 less activation, and then they drew the FB brigade, which doesn't have any units at this point in the game, but it is added to the cup on the 25th, just to kind of muck up the works, apparently, and it worked. So the Allies have 3 more activations, the next of which will be the British, and they probably don't want to do anything, so they'll hang out. Now we'll draw another one. Second armor. I've been saying how unaggressive I think I've been as the Germans, but they're up here in the town, not I would pronounce it as, and they're going to make a go of this. They just activated, so these guys are going to be at full strength, and they're both going to get to make heavy attacks. He's going to go first, so that's 18 against 6, which is going to be 3 to 1. We're in a knight, so that's +1 for heavy attack, and then -2 for the town. So we're back at 0 at 3 to 1, which is pretty good. And of course I have to get it on video. If the camera wasn't running, that would have been much higher. So nothing happens. So he's spent, and now it's going to be 13 to 6, which is still 2 to 1 at a DRM of 0. 7 at 2 to 1. That's actually better for us. So they take a step loss, 1 step unit. They're out, and we'll move these guys in. These guys spend, and we can continue moving 2nd Panzer. These guys are going to come up. The stacking limit, which I haven't talked about, but it's 2 steps. And that's 2 steps, so usually just 1 unit can be in. I'm not sure, I don't think I can attack here. Can't attack across the bridge, so I don't know how I'm supposed to wipe that guy out. I don't think I can. Yeah, so I guess it makes sense for the Allies to pull back across the river. We're going to get some victory points this turn for this happening, but I'm going to try to get these guys next to the river as much as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do the same thing here. The road is a half movement point for mounted, or motorized, I guess, not mounted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 3 victory points right there, which for this game doesn't seem so bad right now. The Allies are done activating. We'll pull another chit for the Germans. 1/16th, they're up here. Not sure what to do with them. If it's worth fighting it out, or if maybe it's too late to make the long trek over to the river. I think they're They're entrenched in the town. I think they're probably going to have to slug that out.